It wasn't racist enough. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
She got made fun of one time, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Right? She got made fun of one time. She was a little bit ostracized, but she did have friends. Like, there were other people of color in the school.
We could have explored race in a much more interesting way with all of the satire.
Yeah, I, like, love
and
the
humor,
satire parts.
but
But it, like,
it
didn't
missed the
actually
mark
happen.
because they didn't have a character that was, like, strong enough.
I don't think that her specific story had enough intensity behind it to warrant these insane choices she made.
How are you today, Grace?
I'm doing okay. Daylight savings time is a little bit hard. I'm so sleepy.
It's rough. I woke up and I was so confused where I was.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I feel like it's the opposite for me. Usually I wake up and I'm pleasantly surprised when it's the weekend or I don't have a lot on my plate. And then today I woke up in a panic because I was like, where am I? Who am I?
Where am I? Who am I? What's happening? Yeah. I think I just, like, I've been having trouble falling asleep, and then it's really hot, but, like, not actually hot. Like, it's just that beginning of the temperature change.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have been to the movie theater now for, like, the past 3 days, so I feel like I'm, like, 80% water, 15% popcorn, and 5% the other stuff, so physically not feeling my best.
Yeah.
But, no, besides the time change, it is nice to have these extra daylight hours in the evening.
Yes, I agree. I think we should always be like this. Apparently science says we'll crash our cars, but, like, I just don't believe that's true.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a thing. So, Grace, for listeners who are maybe unfamiliar, do you mind giving us a refresh on what Screen Unseen is all about?
Yeah. Screen Unseen is quite literally an unseen movie. So you're going to a movie. Yeah, it's a mystery movie. Like, you're going to a movie, like, sight unseen, right? Like, when you, like, buy a house. It's a fun little pun. I struggle with puns, but it's okay. But basically you pay $7, or if you're an A-lister, AMC sponsor us, you get to just add it to your cart as an A-list movie, because there's, like, almost no restrictions on that, which is crazy. And you go see a movie, and it's at 7 p.m. every single time that it plays, usually every Monday, but I think they skip a couple of Mondays a year. Yeah, you can see horror movies, you can see pretty popular ones. You're never gonna see, like, a Marvel's level movie there.
The big blockbusters.
Yeah,
that
but, like,
anticipating.
You're definitely gonna see, like, an A24. You're not gonna see Project Hail Mary. But you might see something, like, a little, like, something that people are still excited for.
Yeah. Maybe an important distinction to make too. You said that sometimes you can see horror.
Yeah.
AMC makes it really clear if it's just a standard Screen Unseen or if it's horror, because that's a sensitive topic for some people.
Yeah.
Or sensitive genre.
Yeah.
They'll call it Scream Unseen.
Which, again, it's adorable.
A fun little thing for people like me who have zero chill and anxiety. I like to think I'm cool enough to just go into this without any foresight.
Yeah.
But there is a Reddit thread where people make their guesses. There may be a little tip off of what the movie might be. Mm-hmm. And tonight's thread was actually really interesting.
Yeah.
You know why, Grace?
Why?
Because AMC has labeled it as a Screen Unseen, right?
Yes.
So it's supposed to be anything but horror. Mm-hmm. However, other theater chains are playing a movie called Slanted tonight. It has been confirmed, which is of the horror genre. So there's a real big what if. Is AMC going to play the same movie as all the other theaters? Like, they usually do. But not always.
Not always.
So
I wonder if it's something that none of us have ever heard of, because back when I saw one of my first Screen Unseens, I went in thinking it was going to be, like, Companion or something like that, like a really cool A24 movie, and it ended up being just, like, this random indie movie called, like, My Dead Friend Zoe, which was a really good movie. It first I thought it was like military war propaganda, but it wasn't. It was like quite the opposite. It was like these things can cause bad life afterwards. And it was really, really good, but absolutely nobody in the thread had guessed it because like nobody had heard of it. It was like by this entirely independent filmmaker. They like paid their way into the theaters basically, and like Screen Unseen was just like how they were getting it for people to watch it.
To see it, get in front of an audience.
So it could be something crazy like that.
Maybe.
Who knows? I'm excited though. I do hope it's Slanted because I want to see that movie, and I don't think I'm going to see it unless it's the Screen Unseen.
Yeah.
Were there any other popular guesses?
Someone guessed a movie called Toe, which I
I've heard of
only
Toe.
know a little bit about.
And I really do not want to watch it. It looked horrible. Oh my gosh. It has Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
And it has like a really surprisingly stacked cast. I don't know why I can only remember Demi Lovato right now, but it looks horrible.
I haven't seen the preview. I just read the brief on what it's about, and I thought it sounded interesting, but
conceptually fine. Like, it's about this woman who lives in her car gets towed, she has to get it back, yada yada yada, the system is broken. Okay. But the problem is that every single moment that I watched like that preview of it was so bad. Oh my gosh, it was probably like, I'm not going to walk out, obviously.
That was going to be my next question. Would you walk out?
I'm not going to walk out, but if I was alone, I might have walked out of that movie.
We could walk out and go see Undertone.
We can. We'll let you know if that happens.
I feel like there was one other one they were suggesting. Mm-hmm. And then a very few amount of people were like me, and they're like, you know what matches up with the 1 hour 45-ish timeline, and the rating is Forbidden Fruits and the drama.
Oh, I'm excited for both of those.
I'm excited for both of those. Those ones aren't getting released until like
April. But I did see somebody on the thread say like it's very likely that what they're showing is going to be an April release. Because there have been releases where it's like weeks and weeks in advance. It might just be like the movies coming out this week are too popular to put as a Screen Unseen.
Dude, we could get really lucky.
Oh my gosh. I hope it's Forbidden Fruits. I really, really hope it's Forbidden Fruits.
I would love it if it was Forbidden Fruits.
Yeah, because for so many reasons. But I think number one, because I cannot tell if that's going to be a horrible movie or a great movie.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be like campy cult classic. Yes. That's probably going to like fly over a lot of people's radar.
Yes.
And might not be understood right now, but I love the weird stuff.
Me too. Yeah. I do think, though, I'm really getting tired of Hollywood trying to convince me that all these actresses and actors are the same ages or even look remotely the same ages.
Are they teenagers?
Like, Victoria Pedretti, beautiful. Beautiful woman. Like, she does not look old in any type of way. But, who's the girl? It's Victoria Pedretti. It's the girl from Riverdale.
The girl from Somewhere I Turned Pretty.
Yes. Her.
Oh. I know who she is. I could see her
name.
Lola
Young.
Tung.
Yeah, Lola Tung. Lola Young's the artist. But her and Victoria Pedretti look drastically different ages to me. You cannot convince me that there's any reason for them to be in a girl group together.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
I'm just kind of tired of Hollywood casting like 20, 30-year-olds as high schoolers when they clearly do not look that.
No.
And then casting like 40-year-olds as like 60-year-old grandmas. I'm like, just cast people who are their age. Like, there's plenty of talent.
Yes, in all directions. And I know that they cast older people as teenagers to get around labor laws mostly.
Right.
And I don't mind, like, up until maybe like 23, like 18 to 23. That's a lot of actors.
Yeah.
That's a lot of actors you have access to that can easily play high schoolers. Anything older, the facial structures begin to change so drastically.
I agree.
So, we're going to keep it short, but any other thoughts?
I don't think so. I guess we'll just find out what we're going to watch.
I'm scared. Oh my gosh. I'm actually like hoping it's like Forbidden Fruits now. I've like hyped myself up.
No. I've got my expectations a little bit lower. I think it could be Toe or it could be Slanted, and maybe it was just a weird... Here's the thing is, as of a few weeks ago, I think Slanted was listed on AMC as like a science fiction.
I saw horror comedy.
And then it changed to horror comedy, so people are like, maybe it still is Slanted.
Yeah, maybe. If it's Toe, we might walk out and go see Undertone. So
Grace is a little scared to see that.
I really don't want to watch Toe. I'll be so sad. We'll be able to get a hint from the trailers, though, so...
Yeah, usually the trailers indicate kind of the tone
genre.
of the genre.
All that, yeah. All right.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Oh my god, it burned.
All right.
What movie did we see?
We saw Slanted.
Slanted. I'm so happy. I actually went through all the stages of grief. When I started seeing all these indie trailers, because I was like, oh man, it's gonna be Toe.
It wasn't just indie trailers though. It was like an indie from each genre. We got a historical fiction. We got an animation. We got a man's movie.
It was very bizarre.
I had no idea where it was going.
I know, and I kept looking at Jess. I was like, it's gonna be Toe, and then I looked away, and then I was like, it's gonna be Slanted, and then I was like, it's gonna be Toe. It's gonna be Slanted. I was panicked.
It was confusing, but then I saw Bleecker Street, and I said,
yes,
I know what Bleecker Street does.
Yeah.
I went,
I with my hand a slanted sign.
So funny. God. I'm so happy for you though.
Me too. I don't think I could have survived Toe. I would have gotten in this car angry. I would have said, cut the video, canceled.
Okay, so you're happy it was Slanted.
Happy it was Slanted.
What were your thoughts?
Mixed bag, right? Concept interesting, execution poor. And maybe poor is a little harsh. Execution missed the mark, maybe. I think that there were a couple things that didn't make sense. There were some, I'm so obnoxious, there were some continuity errors.
Yeah, there were some continuity errors.
Yeah, sure. That I was just ooh, I understand, but also that's kind of it's usually someone's job on set, actually. I think that there were some hilarious parts. In the background, everything was named the most insane thing that it possibly could. Their school was called their school mascot was called the Wizards, and so their mascot was the Grand Wizard, and it was literally the KKK. And I was like, oh.
But that's why I'm not sure if it was good or not, because it was so satirical that I was like, are they self-aware with what choices they've made to portray this really bizarre idea?
It wasn't racist enough. I'm so sorry. Yeah. She got made fun of one time, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Right? She got made fun of one time. She was a little bit ostracized, but she did have friends. There were other people of color in the school for her to interact with. And I just don't think that the racistness of it was portrayed with enough vitriol for this concept. This conceptually is very
it's interesting and relevant.
Yeah, Asian girl turns white to feel accepted in society. But society was rejecting her, but in the same way it rejects poverty. It wasn't rejecting,
or just anyone who's not
this
the gold
perfect
standard of beauty and wealth.
Yes, I don't think that her specific story had enough intensity behind it to warrant these insane choices she made.
I would agree, because I went into that movie having seen the preview and knowing kind of what Slanted would be if we got to see it, which we did, and feeling the idea, the concept of the movie was so interesting. I was happy to be seeing it, but the execution felt heavy-handed in a way that didn't give leverage to the themes it was trying to address.
Yes.
Where I was we could have explored race in a much more interesting way with all of the satire.
Yeah, I love the
humor,
satire parts. But it
didn't actually happen because they didn't have a character that was strong enough. And I don't think it was the actress's fault.
No, it was the script.
Yeah.
This was
some writing.
I thought the acting was brilliant on everyone's part. Nobody disappointed me in that sense. They had some bigger names than I expected. McKenna
Grace.
Yeah, McKenna Grace. her best friend is in Sex Life of College Girls. Is that where I know her from?
Oh, Never Have I Ever on
Never
Netflix
Have I Ever.
is where I know her from personally.
Yeah, she's in like a couple of Mindy Collins projects. Yeah, it had some people that I like recognized and thought were like good. I just don't think that it leaned into the absurdity enough. Like, white people are comically evil if you like have eyes to see it.
And there were parts of it that did. And I was giggling.
Yes.
And you were giggling.
And nobody else
and
was
no
giggling.
one else was giggling. There was a few like seats down from us.
Yeah.
That were colored, and they were also giggling, so I felt like they got it, but
yes.
I don't know. I don't understand why people don't laugh in the movie theater.
I know. I liked it though. I thought it was a good movie. I think I'll give it maybe like 3 stars at the most.
Yeah. 2 or 2.5 feels too low.
Yes.
Because I did appreciate it, and I'm like, maybe with time.
Yes. I think they could have leaned into all of their promises a lot more. Like, I understand why it's not a Scream Unseen now.
Yeah.
It wasn't horror.
It
like,
wasn't
it had
horror, but it was like a little bit of body horror, I would say. I haven't seen The Substance, but I imagine maybe something like that mixed with a little bit of Carrie.
Yeah.
Mixed with a little bit of Mean Girls.
Yes.
Like, it had all these tropey high school, almost like not psychological thriller, but
that's what it felt
leaning
like
towards
more.
that.
It felt more.
Like, that's the closest way I could define it.
Yeah.
It's like a psychological horror.
There was like this scene when she was like looking in the mirror, and it's like supposed to be a little bit horrific, but I'm just like, this feels more like a psychological like thriller or something, where it's like it's keeping me on my toes a bit, but it's not promising, making good on the promise of horror, which I know is up in the air. They kept changing that description,
and maybe that's the fault of it, is it doesn't quite even know itself what it wants to be.
Yes.
So as a viewer, I'm like, is this supposed to be satire? Is this supposed to be comedy right now, or is this supposed to be serious?
Yeah.
Because I think it could have been both, which we saw with The Bride, that you can have that like laugh out loud moment and then like drastically switch to something that's a lot more darker in its undertones. But
I wonder if like the writer director is like newer to the industry. I wonder if this is like one of her first projects, because I think it's like impressive in that sense, like, right, like
I think it is new, actually. When I was looking on Letterboxd a few days ago, I think I was trying to see who was the director, and I'm pretty sure this is like one of their only projects.
Yeah, and like that would make sense to me. I think that, I don't know, like, it was really good. It was almost like going and seeing like a really fantastic student film.
Yeah.
Right? And like you're like sitting there and
you're, like, it's not
you're
bad.
Impressed. But like I watched this in the movie theater.
Yeah.
With like big names and stuff. And not saying that that's like, I love it when more interesting things come to the theaters. I don't think it doesn't not belong in the theater. But I don't know. I think it lacked the commitment. I think that's kind of like my theme.
Yeah.
Like that's when a movie disappoints me, when it doesn't commit to what it's doing.
There were some commitments to the bit, though, as you mentioned, like the titles of the buildings. There was like a what is it called, like a point back or drawback to the start, where they have this moment where they're driving down the like main drag of the town, and like you see the like names of the buildings,
like
and
this
the details in the background were extremely well thought out.
The Dollar Tree spoof was like Guns and Ammo or something like that, you know.
At the beginning it felt very idealistic, and then by the end, obviously the perspective has changed, and you can see like the horror of what she thought was the ideal.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was nice. Like, there was some real intent with the way they executed the film. It was just...
Yeah, I think, like, these people cared about this project.
They did.
And it was really well, like, it was loved, like, very clearly. I feel like a couple of the things that felt inaccurate to me is like, typically immigrant families do want you to assimilate a lot more. And her family was pretty against her assimilation, which just felt like a incorrect vibe for what was kind of happening. I do think that, like, if her family was less of her antagonist and more of, like, her push towards this, it would have felt like a lot more interesting. Yeah. In that sense. I don't know. It was just interesting.
I feel like, too, there's a part of it that wasn't very believable to me is we've gotten all these high school movies for decades. Yeah. And the bullying tropes, and one in particular, hopefully this is not a spoiler, but, like, the school lunch, like, bringing your lunch from home, coming from, like, a background other than America, like, kids are like, ew, gross, which I just feel like that's not a thing anymore. Like, I think we've been exposed to enough cultures now, but I don't know.
I do think that at the age that she was when she first started, I think it would have been like that. Yeah. But I do think that, like, it looked like she just had, like, shredded pork.
That's why I was like, it didn't feel like a big deal. It should have been, like,
a fish dish or something, like, a little bit more stereotypical. Like, maybe. Again, like, if you're doing a satire, you have to commit to the satire.
Bit. Yeah. And that's why I was like, it doesn't feel like these kids, like, they're supposed to be, like, hating on her. Mm-hmm. And that's why she wants to be white so badly, but they didn't hate on her enough. Like, they needed to be meaner.
Nobody was mean enough to warrant any of this, which I know is crazy. And I know you don't need to be bullied to want whiteness, especially in, like, white communities. But I do think, like, I don't know, like, her bullying only happened, like, once or twice. Yeah. It was nothing even super crazy, which I know sounds bad, but, like, the whole premise is that she changes her race. It has to be really bad.
And I was actually surprised, too, how long of a build-up there was in between being introduced to her as a character and her backstory and when she actually decides to go forward with this change. Mm-hmm. There was plenty of runtime in the show that they could have had more instances of racism.
It was so long. I think that was kind of my downside, too. It was like a full 2 hours. Yeah, it
did not need to be that long. Or they could have done something with that time.
Done something. I don't think that this movie did a lot. But
they could have done more.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I can appreciate it for what it is. I think there was one other thing I liked about it and one thing I didn't like about it that we haven't mentioned. The one thing I didn't like about it is there was a twist in it that I feel like I predicted, like, immediately. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like, I don't know, I like to be surprised by the film, but I think because they didn't do enough with what we were just talking about with, like, the way the characters interacted with each other, like, I kind of saw that that's where the story was going, but...
The twist only surprised me because it didn't feel like enough people were involved in the twist. Like, it only being, like, this one person, I was just like, that's odd.
I feel like it was something that, like, I knew was coming, but also, again, with the continuity thing you mentioned, like, didn't feel as believable because there weren't as many pieces put in place to begin with to make it seem like, oh, this could be a thing, and if there were, like, more of those twists, then maybe I would have bought it.
I don't know. And then, like, you know... It was this super secret thing at the beginning, and then at the end, it's like this super popular thing, and I'm just like, what?
I think that was like, I think they were trying to demonstrate, like, illustrate, like, the desirability of this, like, being the opposite of her desires. Like, it was not, like, actually that.
Okay.
Because at first I was confused about that, like, because she goes back to this place, and it feels like everyone wants to be white all of a sudden when she doesn't want to anymore, and it was a little off-putting. Yeah. But I think it was an artistic choice.
Okay. And then what else was your last thing you said?
The thing I did like about this is I felt like it surpassed the Bechdel test. Like, passed with flying colors.
Mentioned.
Like, men were not centered. She had a relationship with her father.
There were 3 men.
There was, like, a boyfriend-ish character at school, but he was such a, like...
A nothing.
Nothing.
A nothing
he
burger.
Was hardly there. Which I thought was amazing to just have a story, like, full of female characters.
Yeah. That's actually kind of funny. I do think there were, like, only 3 men. Like, there might have been, like, background characters.
Who else? Oh,
it was the dad and the 2 boyfriends.
And the doctor.
And the doctor. Yeah.
But yeah, the boys at high school were hardly there, which every high school movie is always about the boys. That's usually, like, the motive. And they weren't even in the picture.
Yeah.
which I thought was fantastic and would love to see more of in the movies. And I think this is a good sign that we're seeing this.
Yeah.
Made me super happy.
I don't know. I'd recommend it.
I'd recommend it to some people.
Yes.
I don't think everyone's going to like it. I think it's something that would be fun to watch with a group of friends.
If the substance was too much for you and you want something of a similar concept, I'd watch this one instead.
This is like soft high school horror.
Yes. Yes. Like, this is something that, like, I don't know, like, it would be it's a really good student film. Like, I don't mean to sound, like, disrespectful. But, yeah.
Yeah, I had a fun time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I'm glad we went.
Worth the watch.
Glad it wasn't The Toe.
So glad it wasn't The Toe. I'm never watching that movie.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other end matter? Anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think it's a bonus episode, so leave us alone. No.
We're glad you're here.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Bye, Dashboarders.
Bye.